So wherever that middle passage is for someone to probably be better,
Yeah.
I believe I may fall there if there's even a place for that.
Yeah. All right. I love your answer. So let me just tell you exactly what the Bible says. All right. Let me give you a scenario. Let's just say somebody was to walk into your home and took an AK-47 and gunned down your entire family. You would expect the judge to do what a good judge does.
Yeah.
But let's just say before you got to the assassin, they arrested him. So you get to the court date, and man, right before the judge is about to give this assassin the sentence, he tries to make it right with you by coming up to you and saying, hey, Frank, it's got to be something I can do to pay you off. I'll buy you a new car. Man, I'll make sure you get I'll put money in your bank account. Well, how much good could this assassin do for you after he slaughtered your entire family with AK-47? How much good could he do to pay it off and walk free?
Nothing.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Now, here's a good question. Who's responsible for killing Jesus? You have any idea?
Man.
Yes, right? Like our sin is what nailed him to the cross. If we would have never sinned, Jesus wouldn't have to never pay for it.
Definitely.
So on the day of judgment, here's how most people are going to try to get into heaven. They're going to stand before God and they're going to say, hey, God, I know I lied and committed adultery and cheated. I know I put your son on the cross. But look at my resume, though. I've had a lot of good stuff on my resume.
Yeah.
And we're going to try to use our resume to pay God off after what we did to his son. Do you think after we did what his son, do you think he's just going to let us in without somebody taking the punishment?
So
what you thinking?
The way I believe is going back to your scenario. Somebody comes in my house and murder my whole family. That man comes to me and asks me, what is it I can do? There's nothing.
There's nothing you can do.
Because you can't give me my family back.
Exactly.
The only thing you can do is live through what you've done. And I hand that over to you.
Right.
Now, as far as being angry with you, of course, anybody's going to be angry. Any man would be angry.
Right.
A part of me believes that God wasn't happy when it happened to Jesus.
He wasn't.
And so I believe that any person would not be happy in that situation.
Right.
But there's nothing I can do.
All right.
It's not something I would come back and retaliate because then I'm throwing my life away.
Exactly.
Now I'm lowering my standards down to the same standard that you.
Exactly.
So if I come back and I act as if you acted, I'm no better than you.
No better. All right. So I want you to think about that when it comes to God. Everybody's going to try to get into heaven. How?
Pleading.
By pleading, by
apologizing,
by saying, God, I am a decent person, and God is going to look at you like you look at the assassin. After you kill his son, there's nothing. The Bible says there is nothing we can do, no amount of good works we can do to pay off our way in heaven after what we did to his son. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right. So there must be another way that we can make it right with God, because as it stands, you kind of like I think in some ways you kind of like I was. I thought I could be a decent enough person and God is going to accept my resume. So me and you get up in a plane 10,000 feet in the air and I say, hey, Frank, you got to jump, but you got to flap your arms to save yourself. Is it going to happen?
Probably not.
No, there's no way you're going to be able to save yourself. Well, that's just like a man that thinks he can be good enough to get into heaven. It's like he's trying to impress God, but there's nothing about humanity that impresses God, because we're all born sinners.
Exactly.
So here's what God did instead. Instead of you trying to be religious to get to him, he sent his son in a relationship. 2,000 years ago, he sent his son, and even though you're guilty, he sent his son. And Jesus said, while he was being crushed on the cross by his father, it was his wrath that was supposed to go on us, and God took the wrath we deserve and he crushed Jesus with the wrath that we deserve, because he loved us enough to pay our debt. And so instead of you trying to pay your debt by righteous works, Jesus is the only one that can pay the debt. Jesus on the cross, the last words he said, Father, it is finished. You know what that means when he said it is finished? He basically means that all of the sin in the world has been paid off.
Gotcha.
But in order for you to get your sin paid, you can't pay it off. So if you will submit to Jesus, like tell God, I've been trying to flap my arms. I've been trying to save myself. And as a result, I knew I went into hell, because there's nothing I can do to satisfy your anger. But if you sent your son for me, I'll take that payment. I'll take the payment of what Jesus did on the cross, and then Jesus pays the debt. And on the day of judgment, God sees you as complete perfection. He sees you as your debt is paid. Oh, you don't have to pay for your sin in hell, because my son paid for it on the cross, and now he can legally let you in. But you must surrender and give up your right, our rights, and put our faith totally in him, like you trust a parachute. Jesus is the parachute. You don't have to flap your arms. You just trust in the parachute.
Definitely.
All right, tell me what you're thinking.
So I just had a question for you.
Please.
So my question for you
Yes.
is, even dealing with that same scenario.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Taking it from that scenario and putting it in God.
Right.
If that was you, do you, with knowing that man can do nothing for you, nothing
He can do
like
for
that,
me.
do you forgive him?
I would like to say I would, but I may not have the same heart you have. It
But
may
I'm
take
saying-
me a while.
Yeah. But eventually you do come to
I
that,
want to come to it.
for you to forgive him.
I will want,
And
yeah.
to me personally,
Yep.
like I said, after all the anger goes away, because like I said, everyone's gonna be angry in that situation.
Right.